that's what I want to go over with all of you. In order for students to really participate in anything, and it includes senior activities, we have a bunch of areas that we look at, and they have to meet the criteria for each of them where they become ineligible. That doesn't mean they won't get a diploma. If they earn all their credits, they'll get a diploma. However, all the other stuff that goes along with it, it may not be able to participate in. So I want to just share again, all this is in your student parent handbooks. If anybody came back to school night, this is the second time you're hearing it. But I just want to make sure everybody's aware of what's going on so that you can help push your kids like we are too, so they can all experience these amazing things that senior year brings to so many kids. So we need students to be here at least 90% of the time. That comes down to 2 absences a month over the course of the year. So like, we encourage people, don't let your children stay home on a Friday because you don't know if they're going to get sick 2 months later and need 5 days out. So we have really been pushing this. Our percent of students attending 90% or more increased by 10% from last September. And sometime next week we'll find out how it worked in October. Right now they're doing a great job. We're going to keep that momentum going. However, they also can't cut. So we'll have students that come to school late, come to school and cut class. Those turn into absences once a certain amount accumulates. So every time, if your child is late to school first period every day, doesn't come until like the end of first period, eventually that's going to count as an absence. Also, all of these absences include excused and unexcused. So an excused absence is something like, child was sick, here's the note, excused absence. Done. There's a black box over there, the kids put them in, no problem. That also is the only way kids are allowed to make up work. Let me explain. For years, kids would miss 3 days a week, 4 days a week, take a week off. And then like come in and be like, hey teacher, give me work to do so that I can get grades. Well, that's not how learning works. So we can't allow that. So we said, in order for you to be able to make up work, you have to like be here. So that's what we said. Any excused absence, they may make that work up within a week. Giving a student a packet of papers 2 months later doesn't constitute as learning. They're just doing busy work, and that's not what they need to be successful once they leave. So it's as much about helping them maintain their grades as it is the soft skills that they need to be successful in whatever they choose to do when they leave, whether that's college, whether that is a trade school, whether it's work, military. Whatever it is, they're going to need these skills as much as anything else. Also, we cannot let students who are suspended participate in these types of events. We suspend so infrequently, like 3 all year.
And no seniors.
Yeah, no senior has been suspended. In the entire school, 1,000 students, I think 3 students have been suspended in 2 months. So because we don't suspend for dumb things or, kid makes a small mistake, we don't punish them. We try to teach them. So if a student is suspended, it is for something very egregious. And as such, they won't be able to participate in anything. Great. So don't let your children tell you otherwise. They may say, well, I don't need that class for graduation. Sure do. They have to pass all their classes. We are not going to allow students who are failing and may not graduate attend the prom. Because guess what? They're going to have another senior year if they're not passing. So we have, at the very minimum, they have to pass the class. We certainly expect much more of them. We know they're capable of much more. However, that is where they pass everything. Some students will say, well, I already have my art credits, and I'm failing an art class that I don't need. It doesn't matter. You're scheduled to. They have to pass it. And again, perhaps even more importantly, they also have to have their Act 158 pathway, which started last year. It's new from the state. That's based on their standardized tests. There are alternate pathways in lieu of just their keystone test. They do have to take them at least once. The easiest way to fulfill this pathway is to pass the keystone. However, there are, like I said, there's 4 other ways they can do it, which again are all on the website. Our counselors have been working with your children since last year on this, identifying their pathway, tracking it, making sure they need it, and that can be through. Apparently, I just got information, Frankford High School leads the school district of Philadelphia in pathway completion. Oh, wow. Because last year, your kids are doing it, and this is what I'm talking about. When you raise the expectation, you give them the support, they meet the expectation. And I never doubted them for a second. And it makes me so happy every day to see them doing it. But that can be if your child's in a CTE class, if they do a project, service hours, get an industry credential. Some of our kids got certified in CPR. That meets a pathway. If they get an OSHA certification, we take care of all that for them. You will know if they're not making it. So, for those of you who have been here for years, you remember we used to have the cell phone bags. I shared with you guys earlier this year that the manufacturer didn't have the cell phone lockers we were going to use this year. They were literally installed yesterday, today, and I think they finish tomorrow. However, we are not going to use them until November 11th. It's the start of the second quarter. Communication is going to be coming home to you guys this week. But this is what's really important. Students are not allowed to bring the cell phone into school. You can't come in with it. But on our property on Harrison Street, in the middle of the building, we have 1,200 cell phone lockers that are being installed. When students come up in the morning, put their phone in, they can bring their own combination lock, or they can buy one from the school for $5. They put them in there, and then when they leave, they go take it out.
It can be key.
It can be a key. It just has to be small enough that it doesn't block the locker door under it. But yeah, absolutely. I also want you to know these are waterproof, fireproof. I'm gonna please don't tell. Yeah, sledgehammer. I did throw a set out of the second story window into the parking lot. Did not break. And they're under video surveillance. We have 2 cameras on the other side to look at. And we'll have staff out there to support. But that's going to start on the 11th. We want this kids, when they come in here, to be able to focus on school and eliminate distractions. And I know people feel different ways about this. I have tormented myself over this for years, but not having kids with phones in their hands makes such huge difference on like their own mental health, their own interactions with each other, their focus in the classroom. And I wouldn't do this if I didn't believe it. And I understand. That's why I wanted a safe place for the kids to leave them, because they should have them on their way back and forth to school. Absolutely. They don't need them in here. They have a laptop, and we have landlines. And if anything bad, God forbid, ever happens, we'll let you know. Like even last week when, yeah, we had like a 3-minute lockdown over a scorned lover of a staff member. We let you know like within 20 minutes. You know, like we will let you know. Yeah, I don't know what he did, but woo! And then like the earbuds and stuff like that should go in there. Like they can't bring in their own iPads or laptops. Like the school district, the school district like locks down the, I don't know what it's called technically, like the internet or whatever. They can't log into those devices. So either leave them at home. iPads are not going to fit in those cell phone lockers. There's no assigned locker. It's kind of like first come, first serve. You come in, put it in, call it a day. And we're going to let the students know, remember which one you put it in.
They're numbered.
No, they're not numbered. Also, and this is very important because this will impact attendance. So all students have to have certain immunizations to attend school in Pennsylvania. And when you hit senior year, there's like another set. The school nurse has already communicated to you if you need it. I am legally supposed to exclude students from school that did not happen on November 1st. I am doing everything in my power not to have to do that. I want your kids here every single day. They should be here every single day. If you need help, please call the school. Follow up with the nurse, follow up with their counselor. We can work something out, but they have to have it. Because at some point they are going to force me to do it. And I don't want to do that to anyone. And like, those, unfortunately, will be considered unexcused absences. So it really could have a very negative impact on your child's senior year, their grades, participation. So, you know, you have to shoot Nurse Harvey an email just to make sure you're good. What do you need? We can help connect you to some places. Just be in communication so we know. That makes it a lot easier for us to advocate for you if we know you have a plan.
Yeah, welcome to my world. Hey,
Squeeze it together.
there you go.
Super.
One finger.
It's always one in the group.
Yeah, squeeze it together again.
All right, school fees. Why some of you are here. So your children have been accumulating fines since their very first day at Frankford High School. When they forget their IDs, and we tell them, first thing when they come in, hey, you're going to get charged for this in a couple of weeks. This follows you for 4 years. And they're like, okay.
It's funny how they like to spend your money.
Yeah. And I'm like, your parents are going to be so angry at you come senior year, you have a bill for $600. Some people owed, I had a student that owed over $1,000. So obviously I worked some that. But we tell them every day, and then sure enough, by senior year, they all come in every year and they're like, yeah, you were right, mister, I should have listened, I owe $200. So by coming here tonight, any fines your students have accumulated up to this point will be cut in half. That's why it's important that you sign up and you sign your name in. We will waive 50% of all the fees just for you being here. With that being said, if tomorrow they forget their ID, that's going to still count. And they're going to earn, more fines. So just really all they have to do is bring their ID every day. And if they lose it, just tell us because you can buy a new one for $5. Rather than they'll wait 3 weeks. And I'm like, just give us $5. You won't have to pay $15. But sometimes those are the math lessons they don't pick up on until it's too late. So I want to let you all know that's how that works. And yet they won't Miss Armstrong. They can send it in with cash. You'll give them a receipt, and then they'll get a receipt from Miss Armstrong. So, one finger. All right. If your child, this is how our counselors are organized here at main campus. Last names A through D, Miss Miller. E through L is Mr. Negron. M through R is Miss Lawton. Miss Jimenez has any students with S through Z. Three of the four of them are bilingual. If for some reason your child goes to Miss Lawton, you only speak Spanish, we can arrange interpretation. Not a problem. If you have questions, reach out to them. They are fantastic. We have the best team of counselors in the city of Philadelphia. I'm not saying that because they're mine. I'm saying it because I've seen and worked with dozens of counselors. They are the best. That is why, one of the reasons why we are leading in Act 158 completion, why the kids are doing so well. They're super supportive. They're always happy to speak with families, and they're always there for them. Do not hesitate to reach out to them. They are wonderful. Here's some key dates. And again, you're going to get a handout with this. Continue to take pictures if you'd like, but you will get this. We have it available in multiple languages as well. Here's key dates. Senior portraits take place the 3rd through the 6th. Something to know. We don't get to determine the appointment times. The company gives us, they're just like, here you go, you're December 5th at 10 o'clock. They have to be here, otherwise they're going to have to wait until like end of January, early February for retakes, because we don't do them. It's a private company. If you want to buy packages, you can, but you don't have to. This will turn into their yearbook picture for us. But if you guys want to buy packages, you're able to do that. That goes between you and the picture company. So, graduation dues. It's $150 with the yearbook included. Miss Armstrong is asking that February 7th, you have $90. We are going to have an online payment option for you very shortly, by next week. And again, we will have that we debit, credit, whatever you want to do. We can't take personal checks. We are unable to do so.
Let me jump in real quick. So I heard a lot of gas rates. That is very cheap. Most high schools, if you ask around, their dues are $200. Some of them include a yearbook, some of them don't include a yearbook. I try and keep everything as bare minimum as possible. I don't inflate the prices for any reason. The kids are paying what I have to pay the company. So the $90 is if you don't want the yearbook, that's perfectly fine. You're just paying for all of your graduation necessities. If you want the yearbook, I'm giving you a little bit of a discount for the $150 with the dues and the yearbook together. Okay? I don't want you to think it's highway robbery. Trust me, it's as cheap as I can get it.
And I will say that my first year here, as like an employee, I'm not sure I could have afforded the senior dues. Like the yearbook was over $100, the prom tickets were $200. These prices have been drastically lowered, and I have tried to kick in additional money from the school budget to help offset this too, because I understand what a significant burden this can be. Do a senior luncheon at the end of May. We don't necessarily always do class ranks. Your children are given the opportunity to. Again, with a lot of those vendors, like you're looking at them directly. I got a class rank. Greatest thing I thought I ever did. After I went to college, I've only worn my high school ring a couple times. you know, if I want to sort of match it with one of my ties, which has red stone. But like, some people want to have one, some people don't. It's no pressure. It's entirely up to you. Entirely up to you. And like I said, very few students do it. So if your child doesn't, like, you're not going to be the only one. What's the name of it?
It's this year it's called the Legacy Room. It used to be the Black Lake Room. It's part of the PUP catering group up in the Northeast. If you know where the Armory is, right, like around the Frankford Mills area, where the mall is, it's up in that area. There's like 5 or 6 catering halls right in that one area. It's down its own road. It's got its own parking. There's nobody else around. Like, there's no reason for anybody else to be around. It's just there. 7 to 11. You'll get, yeah, your kids should have brought home a senior information sheet. If not, it will be posted on our website and sent out. Yes, they will get that as well.
Yes, they get all of that.
So to piggyback on the cost of things that Dr. Calvin was going around with, as a parent, I have 4 kids. I had to do the senior stuff 4 times. Walmart for class rates. If you go on Walmart.com and type in the search bar class rates, you're going to get the same stuff you're going to get at Johnson's for a whole lot cheaper. They can design them. They can choose the metal. They can choose the stones. It's a lot cheaper than Johnson's. Johnson's, they're beautiful, but they're going to be about $400 to $600 if you want a real fancy one with your little football number on the side and all that. Try Walmart.com first. Secondly, the senior pictures. Your child, part of their dues, pays for their cap and gown. They get to take it home in June once they graduate. We don't take it back like a lot of other schools do. Go to Walmart or go to one of those picture places and have somebody that's really good at taking pictures with an iPhone and take their pictures there. The pictures, the packages at the picture places are anywhere from $50 for a couple of pictures to $400 for all the pictures. Okay? Your kids look gorgeous. You're going to want every picture. Trust me. So wait. Those pictures stay up on that website for over a year. I think my son graduated in 2022. His pictures are still on their website. They will email you every 2 to 3 weeks and tell you, last chance. It's not your last chance. You can order those pictures for over a year. Wait. Wait until they graduate. See if somebody gets a really great shot of them in their cap and gown. Use that. Send that to the family. Trust me, you don't want to spend $400 and some just because they look good on that day. Everybody gets excited. Don't waste your money if you don't need to, okay? So there's 2 cheaper options of pictures and rings, okay? The due dates for each of the things are on here. You don't have to pay everything that day. If you want to send your kid with $20 tomorrow, I have a $20 and give you a receipt. $5 every time, whatever you want to do, I'll give you a receipt every time they bring you money. Once the online link goes on, you can pay with debit or credit. It's only going to be the entire amount though. They don't let you pay increments. You can't make payment plans online. It has to be the whole thing, okay? So if you do it online, it's very convenient. But it's a one-time thing. And all of this will be on there except for their ID fees because they only let us put in a solid amount and every kid's amount is different for the ID. So I can't put that on there for the online. Okay? Any questions? And I have interpreted them. This is Helen.
One question with raising on everything is attendance policy. SEP has been very unreliable this year. Sometimes their buses run, sometimes they don't. Meetings on at 6:09 every morning. Some days it's here at 7, some days it's here at 7:40. I don't think the children should be held responsible for what separate of that stuff. They don't have enough drivers.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can work that into?
Well, we do look into that. Like 10 minutes isn't going to count as like an absence. And we can see the times, like when they scan in. We're talking about the hundreds of kids who go on at 9:30. I know. I know. But yeah, we look into all the
An hour to get 2 hours.
Because we check these buses every morning, and sometimes the first bus is running on time, and then the second bus ain't running on vice versa.
Yep. And that's what I tell kids, like, they're like, Chris, I'm 11 minutes late every day. So I'm like, you 12 minutes early. Right. Well, no. I'm saying. But you'd be surprised how many kids don't think of that now. They're like, 11 minutes. So, but yeah, we look into all that. We're not, like, the goal, we want all the kids to participate in every single one of these. Every single one of them. And trust me, if they ever need the benefit of the doubt, it always goes in their favor for me. So, please know, I want everybody, all of them.
Yes.
So, you said that eventually the latest is the calculated into absence. Like, how do you calculate?
So we don't, it's the system does it. So you'll be able to see when you get the report cards, it'll have their absence. And you're like, you've only been out 3 days. And then if you go back in and look, you'll be able to look at their latenesses and cuts because that's also on there. You'll be able to calculate. The district has never really been able to give us a clear formula for how that works. That's what we've discerned on our own because they don't give us that. But it's like, I believe it would be 40. It's like, yeah, because like each of their classes is 90 minutes. That's broken down into 2 45-minute periods. You know what I mean? So if he's 10 minutes late, yes, he's late to school, but he's not going to be marked as cutting because he was there for 80 of the 90 minutes. So if you ever have a question, you can reach out to the counselors, reach out to us, and I hope all of you know about the parent portal, which we've sent information home, we've done, and we will continue to do workshops. You can sign up for that, and you can view their attendance in live time.
See
Everything, grades, attendance, cuts, because many of you may know this, the school district does automatic calls at the end of the day. Oftentimes, those calls come in before you get home from work. Kids delete the messages. That's how that goes unchecked by parents. So if you get in that parent portal, they can't ever pull anything on you. Oh, sorry kids. Every 2 weeks, teachers update grades. So on a Monday, and they just did it this week. So like, not next week, the following week again, every other week. So if the kids say, oh, I'm only failing because my teacher didn't put in my grades, that may be possible next week. But the following week, tell them stories. Every 2 weeks, they get updated. And we, the administration, checks to make sure the teachers are doing it.
Question over here.
If enough kids do it. Like we're going to do it one year and like 3 kids bought rings, so not much of a ceremony. But yeah, we would if it ever became a thing where like everybody did it. But too often kids just, they don't want to do it, they want to save the money. They're like, well, prom's next year. Because we talked about moving it to like sophomore year or junior year, because then you get to enjoy it a little bit too. Because to be honest, a lot of people don't wear them after high school. So giving them that opportunity to do it, but like there just wasn't the interest from the kids, and I tried. I really did, because I think it's a nice experience. But yeah, they're just not super. But yes, if we have warrants, that I love to have parties and celebrations. I'll celebrate anything. Tailgate anything too.
For graduation, I know I don't know how they do it now, but do you buy tickets for graduation? Is there a
No,
limit or no
that's
limit?
a great question. You will all be given 6 to 10 tickets.
Okay.
It's at the stadium, right up the street. It's 2 blocks up the street. It's on Large and Dyer Street. So we will put all the families close to the front. You'll be told which side you'll have the best view of your child on. So you'll go to one of the 2 sides. And then last year we started something for the first time that turned out really nice. We actually brought the underclassmen up to watch it. And they had to sit in the back. And I think it was very well received by the underclassmen to see, what awaits them. It's beautiful when it's beautiful out. Let's put it that way. Unfortunately, as you realize, we don't have a dome stadium, nor do we have turf. So if it rains a lot before or on that day, we will have a rain date the following day, and then like an emergency date the day after. We've had to postpone it twice in 10 years.
Move it down an hour once.
Yeah, and then another time, move it back.
Instead of 9, we made 10.
Yeah, and then another time we had to move it back an hour just to make sure we had time to like dry up all the seats. And we do it in the morning before it gets really hot. It's always at 9 o'clock. And like, you start at 9 o'clock, so if you show up a half hour late to your kid's graduation, you're not gonna see a lot of it. And it's awful. Like I've heard stories of like parents that missed it, kids that missed it because they drove with their families. And we can't and we won't stop graduation for one person. There's literally thousands of people. So please make sure, everyone will remind you 1,000 times. Yes.
Hey, Doc, I just want to let all the other parents know, it's not a long ceremony.
So, no more than an hour.
It's not like a college ceremony, it's in and out.
Yeah. We switched it after my first year, when it was like 2.5 hours long, a blazing heat. So we do the award ceremony like the week before. So we honor like scholarship recipients and all those types of things. So if you come for graduation, it's graduation. And then take pictures afterwards, and then everybody can go home and party. Other questions? And if you think of one tomorrow, email me, email Ms. Armstrong, like it's fine. Like I know questions are going to come up as things go along. There's a counselor's email. Yes.
I got a question. This is more pertaining to the students. I know that there's probably some students that can't or may not be able to afford those things over there. Are they able to do like
We
you
take
guys
care of
do like a fundraiser where they can like fundraise things and stuff
yeah,
like that?
we take care of it.
You guys have something like maybe that parents that do may have something extra, they can donate and also as well?
You know, we'll think about that. I don't think we have before, but usually, like,
I have staff that will come
Yeah,
to me and say,
staff
I'll
will-
sponsor a kid.
Yeah, like
yeah,
stuff
we
like
do
that.
stuff like that all the time. We would never let a kid.
No, I'm just asking because I know some kids will be like, well, I'm creative in this, and I was doing like canvases, like $5 towards my senior, towards their dues
Yeah.
or whatever. Like something.
We don't do that. So if a kid from Frankfurt comes and says he's fundraising,
Yeah. No, I'm saying
They're
like within inside the
Because-
school. Though.
yeah, no. Because we did have somebody doing that one
Yeah.
time, and I got a call, and they're like, "Are you doing like?" And it was a principal. It was like a principal friend of mine, and he said, "Like, yeah, there's these kids that they went to Frankfurt, and he's like, I took a picture with them, so that I could send it to them. I'm like, they're not my kids." I said, "You just gotta hustle."
Come in here first. I'm asking you here first.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you for that. That's a really nice idea, and something we'll definitely take back and talk about.
Any other questions? So I had handouts with everything that was on the slides in English, Spanish, Portuguese, French. So I will start disseminating the English ones. If you need them in another language, feel free to come up here and grab those instead of
Here's
waiting for me
English.
to come around, okay? Oh, he's got English. So if you need it in Spanish, Portuguese, or French, not that I can translate to say that right now. But, and then for some reason you missed signing in, please make sure you come sign in because we're using the sign in to cut the fees in half. The online, not yet, our school operations officer has to send it off to the district. She's only here Monday and Friday. So if she set up a Monday, she not only created for us, we have to hold that one.
Ms. Armstrong.
Yes. And that is everything.
Yes.
I was just making sure that everybody got the information. Just that, if you need to reach out or if you have any questions. Yeah. Portuguese, French,
I have French right here. Should I be French?
I gotta Google.